World Sneaker World. What is up, man? You are back. It's your favorite show, man. You are back at the Sneaker Guy Podcast. I'm your host, JT the Cool Soul. And today, man, I got a special one for y'all today, man. I'm extremely excited about the shoes today. We all know that it is Air Max month. Shout out to all the people who love Air Maxes, no matter what Air Max it is. 95, Air Max 1, Air Max 180s. We in Air Max Day. You gotta love it, bro. Air Maxes are to me like the cornerstone of just running sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not running. Because heck, I ain't doing no running in them. You know, just for style purposes, Air Maxes has always set the tone for sneakers, bro. Like, I've always been a huge fan of Air Maxes. I know a lot of people that love them. They're iconic. They're just like a huge wave. So today, I'm going to talk about my favorite pair of Air Maxes, a new pair of Air Maxes that I picked up, and an interesting story on a pair of Air Maxes that I bought in a crazy scenario. So, first, I'm going to start you out with my favorite pair of Air Maxes for me. I'm not saying they the greatest Air Maxes in the world, but for me, it's my favorite. It's probably one of the greatest to me in my collection. So first, I'm gonna talk about the Air Max One Tokyo Maze. Now, if you know me and you've been around me, you've heard me talk about the Air Max One. First off, that's my favorite silhouette. Now, we all know the Air Max One is what started the whole thing. We talking 1987, March 26th, boom. Tinker creates the Air Max One. Now, for me, everybody know I love the Air Jordan 5. That's my favorite silhouette when it comes to Air Jordans. But when it comes to Air Max Ones, bro, or just Air Max period, this is my favorite silhouette. The Air Max One by far is the greatest Air Max One or just Air Max ever made. Now, people gonna argue and be like, nah, man, it's the 95 or nah, man, it's the Air Max 180s or the 97s. That's cool. You can argue with somebody else. Don't argue with me. I'm telling you the raw facts, bro. The Air Max One is the greatest Air Max created. Now, like I say, the Tokyo Maze is probably my favorite one of all because I'm just like, everything was done just so incredible on this shoe. Now, just to, break it down, this shoe to me, I just felt like it had so much detail in it that was just so creative. First off, we talking one shoe is black, the other shoe is white. This one got the black little hints in it. This one has more of the white hints in it. Like, and that's what made this shoe just so incredible to me. Like, it's the same shoe, but it's two different colors. But you can still see all the detail of the same in both shoes. The leather on here, I was like, it's amazing. What I really like is how they did the mud guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you could actually feel the actual prints in the shoe on the mud guard. Now, if you don't know a lot about the Tokyo Maze Air Max One, it was based off the train station in Tokyo. So all these that you're seeing is like the train tracks and how they run in Tokyo. Now, the little red hints in here is supposed to represent like the buildings in Tokyo, like some of the red buildings that they got. And I was just like, okay, they went all out with this shoe. Like, everything they did was so correct. Then when you get to the bottom and how it says Tokyo Maze at the bottom, I just was like, okay, they made this shoe just perfectly done. Then you can take off the little, tongue parts. Now I got like 10 of, I think they gave me like 10 of these in the bag. Now I just usually keep the little Tokyo flag sign, and then I just keep the little Nike sign. Like I say, it's probably like 7 more, 8 more upstairs, but I can't even remember what the rest of them even is. But like I say, this shoe to me was just done so incredible to have the leather sock lining, which I thought that was cool. Then to do the white one on the opposite side, like that just made this shoe just so incredible to me, bro. Like this shoe released in 2019. I just remember seeing it for the first time, and I just was like, okay, I gotta get this shoe. Like I just couldn't stop looking at it. I remember like every day I was on different websites just looking at the shoe, like, bro, I gotta get this shoe in hand. And I end up getting them, bro, and I got them for a good price. I think when I got them, I did buy them off GOAT. I think I ended up getting them for like at the time 220, 240 when they came out. I think now they up to like 450, close to 500. But this ain't even a shoe for me that I would ever look to sell. You already know I'm not a shoe seller anyway. But this shoe, man, hands down, I just think it was just done so perfectly. Like it's just one of them things that I always tell y'all. I'm big on detail on the sneaker. So to me, if you're a collabor or you're doing certain things with just any company, it doesn't even have to be Nike. I always want the details to really tell the story of the shoe because certain details on the shoe to me separates you from just regular shoes. You know what I'm saying? Just regular shoes that you can get out of Foot Locker or Champs. You're not supposed to be in the same ballpark. Like you're supposed to be astronomically far. So when I got this shoe, I just was like, okay, this ain't your regular Air Max One. Like regular Air Max One ain't giving you this type of leather. You definitely not feeling the embroidery feels on the mud guards. Like those are things that's supposed to separate you from the rest of the pack. And to give me one black shoe and one white shoe, but yet I can still tell that they're the same. That's what makes this shoe so incredible to me. So, like I say, this is by far my favorite Air Max One ever, bro. Like, I definitely love this shoe. Shoot, I probably definitely gonna wear this. Probably at the next sneaker con, this is probably gonna be the shoe I wear. I'm trying to make a tradition of only wearing like Air Max Ones to all my sneaker cons. I've been to so far. I've been to three, and of the last two of them, I wore a pair of Air Max Ones, and I think for my next one, this is probably gonna be the one I wear, bro. Like hands down, probably the greatest. So if you ever ask me, or if you know, I'ma always say the Tokyo Maze, my favorite Air Max One of all time. I'm glad that it's Air Max One day. Like this is what sneakers are about. This is when you celebrate, the becoming or the birth or just what started something that was so huge. So just think about it. We're talking about a shoe that technically was designated for running, just like long distance and things of that nature in 1987. We're now in 2025, and this shoe is still, a big hit. All the Air Maxes are. I'm not just gonna just say the Air Max One is. The Air Max brand alone is still a huge thing moving. Like this, I'm pretty sure when Tinker made this shoe, in his mind, he probably was like, yeah, this is gonna be here forever. But I didn't think he would think that it was gonna be at the magnitude that it is today. Like to see where this shoe has came from 1987 for it just being a white and red pair, then a white and blue pair, to now we're talking about something like a Tokyo Maze shoe that has all this great detail, but yet it's still the exact same silhouette from 1987. Like nothing was taken away from the style purpose of that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what makes a sneaker so iconic like this to me. You know what I'm saying? It stands the test of time. And like I say, this one right here, the best, man. But I mean, y'all let me know. Is this a shoe that y'all was rocking with? Am I crazy for having it as the greatest Air Max One ever? You probably gonna say yeah, but I'm still gonna have it as number one. Like that ain't gonna change nothing. But y'all let me know, like, what is your favorite Air Max One, or just your favorite Air Max during this Air Max month time frame? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're talking the deepness of the Air Max, like I say, we have the Air Max One, we got the 95, we got the 97, we got the Air Max 180s. Like, it got so much in it. Like, you could go on for days when it comes to Air Maxes, bro. Like that's probably to me one of the deepest branches and trees of the sneakers right now. You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know, man. Y'all got this as a cop, as a drop? Would you pass on it? You know, you let me know. Like I say, we are celebrating, you know, the whole Air Max, month and the day. And we also know that Nike is about to bring back out the Air Max 95 big bubble neons, bro. Like, if you know this shoe like I do, it's the most iconic Air Max ever. And I do know that they are saying that this shoe is gonna be limited. It's only gonna be so many pair. Which I understand why Nike is doing that, because they bringing it back in its original form with the big bubble and the neon. Like, I do think that's dope. Now I did hear that after this one, they'll release it again. I think it's not gonna have a big bubble, but it's gonna be more easier to get, which that's cool to me too. Me personally, I think if they bring this out in the big bubble, it should just be released to the general public. Like, everybody should be able to get that shoe. It shouldn't be to where it's like, oh man, it's only limited releases. Like, that's, like I say, that's cool, bro. But for us people who really love the Air Max 95 or just the Air Max period, like, we should be able to get these with no problem. Like, it really shouldn't be like, oh, we can only get it here, or we got to go to this type of store, or only get it online. But we in a different type of sneaker time to where Nike feel like, all right, we finally then climb back up the mountain. Let's start making some things limited. And don't get me wrong, sneakers have been going crazy. I don't want to tell you like, oh, ain't nobody gonna be tripping on these 95s. They are, because when it comes to 95s, bro, people who are Air Max 95 lovers are diehards, and I respect it because, like I say, I'm an Air Max fan. You know what I'm saying? And when you an Air Max fan like that, when something like an OG like this is the scene, everybody's gonna want it. So y'all be on the lookout for these Air Max 95 big bubbles, man. Like, I think they're gonna go crazy. Like, I don't think it's gonna be a walk in the park to get these at all. Cause a lot of people have been waiting to see this come back in its original form, in the original color. So definitely be on the lookout for them, man. All right. Now I'm gonna talk to you about a pair of Air Maxes that I got of a recent pickup. Now, I've had my eye on this shoe since I very first seen it online. I was just like, okay, I have to get my hands on these by any means necessary. So this shoe I'm gonna talk to you about is a special shoe to me. We're gonna talk about today the Air Max 180 APRON records, man. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have been having my eye on this shoe for a minute. When I say they did phenomenal, man. Shout out to the boy Steve Julian. He is the one that did this shoe. He is the CEO of APRON Records. Now, that is a record company based out in London. You know what I'm saying? So he does like almost like that jazz, hip hop, that house music. Like, he almost got like that 80s feel. Like, if you go look him up on YouTube and you listen to his music, bro, like, it's gonna take you back to that 80s, that early 90s sound. You know what I'm saying? And you know me, I love hip hop. I always say sneakers and hip hop go hand in hand. His music is gonna give you that feel of being in that time frame and wearing this type of shoe. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people ain't big on the Air Max 180, but I am. I honestly think it's a dope shoe. Honestly, it's probably my second favorite shoe next to the Air Max 1. I would say the 180 is the next big shoe. Now, let me tell you the story on this before I even, break down the shoe itself. I was looking at this shoe and I'm just like, bro, I gotta get this shoe. So every other day, I was getting on GOAT, seeing what it was at. When it first hit the scene, well, before it came out, before they had the release date of it, GOAT had it at like 600 to 800. I'm just like, all right, bro, I know I'm not trying to pay that for it. I'ma see where it gets down to. Now, here's what I'm gonna tell you about sneakers and paying attention to it online. You almost gotta treat it like the stock market. So it was like every other day I was seeing where it was at. Is it going up? Is it going down? So I was just measuring my time frame. So as it got closer to the date, I'm gonna say at this point, it's probably like 3 days before release. I started to see it trickle itself down. It went from, like I said, it started at like 600 to 8. Then I started seeing it at 4. Then I check again. I started seeing it float around 3. I end up catching it at the 220 mark. And I was like, okay, let me go ahead and pull this now because I don't know what's about to happen. So I end up pulling it at 220. Once they did, the tax and the shipping, I think it came out to like 260. I kid y'all not. By the next morning, I looked at it again. It was back up to 600 to a stack. And I was like, bet, I already then pulled it, paid for it, got it at the 260. I was like, okay, I hit a steal of a deal to get these for the 260, man. Cause like I say, they going up and it looked like they kind of, I checked it again. I think it's floating back down to around like 350, 400 now. Like I say, it's something that's still going for the 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So I was lucky to get this for 260. I really had my eye on the shoe. Like I say, shout out to Steve Julian, man. Like he did perfectly on the shoe. If we talking about the leather on here, this plush, this suede, bro, man, it's almost like that one of the most hairiest suedes I've ever had on the sneaker, y'all. Like if you just looking at the detail on the shoe, even from the shoestrings, like to see him put the little suede hair on the shoestrings, I thought that was like unique, bro. Like I always say, if you gonna collab with Nike, I'm gonna need you to bring your all to it. You know what I'm saying? And to me, he did everything right on here. Like I say, from the leather to the hairy suede, even to put this razor on here. Now I know you thinking like, okay, what's the symbolization for the razor? Now he used to work in the salon with his auntie. You know what I'm saying? So we all know you using razors and clippers and all those different things. So he just put that into his story because that's a part of his journey. So for him to be a record owner, to being a rapper, a DJ, and a producer, like he does it all. And I felt like, damn, he put all of that greatness into this shoe, man. And to put name of his record company on the back, APRON Records, I thought that was cool. I definitely like the bottom. You know what I'm saying? To give it that, that old school faded out sole, like it's already been worn. I thought that was cool and unique. Like this is by far a great shoe, man. Even the box, I always tell y'all, presentation is big with me. You know what I'm saying? To give us, that cool old school 180 box. Got the little razor down here. Now this is where it gets interesting. The paperwork. You know what I'm saying? To even have his childhood picture on the paper, I was like, okay, dude really did his thing with the 180. Like I say, the 180 to me is probably the most slept on Air Max of them all. Like I always was saying, like Nike don't do enough with the 180s. Like it's been a while since we had a collab or something great with the 180. You know what I'm saying? Like we always get collabs with, let's just say 95s. We know we get collabs with the Air Max 1. Like the 180 sometimes to me is like the back of the line child. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people mess with the Air Max 180. It's like a classic shoe. Now, something I do like, it doesn't have your normal tongue. Now, if you know the 180 like I do, they always come with a more slimmer tongue. This one has like a more thicker tongue. Like probably, I can't even say I can compare it to the Air Max 1. Like it's thicker than the Air Max 1 tongue. So yeah, he put a whole different spin on it with this one. Like I said, there is a second colorway. It's a red pair that's like these. To me, I think this one was the better one. The red pair more so looks like for the ladies. I will say that pair is gonna look better on the ladies. I think this green pair is more the dude color. But like I say, it's a definitely great shoe, man. Like everything on here, even from the snake skin on the Nike side. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that plays a great part, bro. Like I always say, when you get a collab with Nike or with any shoe brand, you got to go all out to where people are going to remember this almost for the rest of their life. And to me, this gonna be one of them shoes that is gonna be some people gonna regret that they didn't get it. I think it's gonna be one of them shoes. People gonna look back later on in life. It's gonna be like 10, 15 years from now, and they gonna be like, bruh, them APRON record Air Max 180s was a classic. You know what I'm saying? Like this shoe is gonna be on its way to being like a classic legendary shoe. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not getting a lot of Air Max 180 that's giving you this type of flavor. You know what I'm saying? From smooth, great leather to you definitely ain't getting no suede like this. I don't even got no Jordans or nothing with no type of suede that's hitting on this. You know what I'm saying? Like this is probably one of the best suede sneakers I've ever seen. Like if you gonna do a sneaker, do it like this, bro. This is one of the ones that I'm like, I'm glad I did get my hands on it. I'm glad I got it for the price I did. I love it because it's really tied into hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like I can tell he's a hip hop head, bro. Like if you watch his music videos, you can tell like, okay, the 80s and 90s hip hop is what influenced you. And I can tell about it in your sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Because I always say, once again, sneakers and hip hop go hand in hand. Your music and how you dress and how you put your sneakers on can tell me, you know, what type of era you was from, what influenced you, what you liked about, you know, that time frame. And to use the 180, I thought that was great because we all know people always run to, I almost want to say, the more commercialized shoe. Like we know it'll be a Jordan 3, or we know it'll be a 4, or we know it'll be an Air Max 95. Like to use the 180 at a time when 180's kind of been drowning to me. Like like I say, we haven't seen a classic 180 shoe. It's been a nice little minute, and I'm hoping Nike can start back pushing the 180 way more because I think this is a shoe to me that's gonna really, you know, bubble, especially in the summertime. I think like the 180 can just be one of those great summer shoes, man. But you know, y'all tell me what y'all think about these 180s APRON records, man. Like I say, definitely go check out his music, man. Like I say, if to be a rapper, a producer, and a DJ, like that boy is a triple threat. You know what I'm saying? Now, London be making some noise when it comes to music, man. Like they stay inspired with what's going on, and I always think that's cool. But I definitely love the ones that be inspired by the time frame I'm from. You know what I'm saying? That 80s and 90s style of hip hop and music and sneakers, like I say, is one of the best. Like I say, these definitely one of my favorites right now. You know what I'm saying? My favorite pair of Air Max 180s. Crazy thing is, for me to love Air Max 180s the way I do, this is my first pair. You know what I'm saying? This is the first pair of Air Max 180s I even got. And like I say, I've always been in love with them. I just never got around to buying a pair because it was like, man, I think about buying a pair and I'd be like, well, let me get these Air Max 1s first. And then I'll come back and get the 180. So I was happy to get these, you know what I'm saying? Because like I say, the way I was scoping these, I was just like, I got a hit on them. And once I got them for that dope price, I was like, yeah, this gonna be one of them ones. But y'all let me know, man. Is this a cop? Is it a drop? Is this a shoe you would even went after? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this your flavor? Now you can change out the shoestrings. They did come with more of the flatter shoestrings. I know some people may look and be like, it's the shoestrings, man. But I actually like the shoestrings. But you can put in the little flat green shoestrings they got, which those would be dope in here too. You know what I'm saying? I think either way was gonna bubble, but for me, I just was like, yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this. But y'all let me know, man. Is this a cop? Is it a drop? Would you pass on it? Are you trying to get it? I mean, like I said, if you weigh 11 and a half, man, like I said, they going for like 350, 400 to a stack. Like they still up there. Like I said, I just got lucky and caught it at that right price at that right time. Cause if I probably would have did it the next day, like I said, they was gonna be back up to the 450. I like the shoe. I just didn't want to pay no 450. That 260 was right up my alley. You know what I'm saying? The highs I probably would have went. I might have did the three something. Maybe like the 340 around that time, around that price. You know what I'm saying? But to catch it for the 260, I'm like, bet. I had to pull the trigger on these. And like I say, once I got them in hand, I was like, oh, they even better than what they look like on a picture. In hand, I just was like, oh, these is one of the ones. You know what I'm saying? Detail wise, it was a no brainer. But let me know, man. Is this a pass? Is it like, oh, I got to try to get these? I'm messing with them. Y'all let me know, man. Okay. So, like I said, we still on the Air Maxes, man. Now, I got a special one with this one, man. This is a pair of Air Maxes that I got. A pair of Air Max 1s, matter of fact. And it has a very crazy story of how I got these. Okay. Now, if you know, like I know, these are the Air Max 1 swipers. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you know the whole swiper thing from Dora the Explorer, this came from De'Aaron Fox. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is when he was with Nike, because I know y'all like, he was Under Armour. This is back in the day. This is 2019 when this shoe dropped. He was with Nike. He got to do a collab on an Air Max 1. We all know they call him Swiper from basketball, him ripping, cats every time they come in his way. He's swiping that joint. Now, if you also know Swiper, he's from the cartoon Dora the Explorer. The cartoon is very, symbolic to me because I used to watch this cartoon with my daughter. Shout out my daughter, Ayana. I love you. Me and her used to watch this cartoon all of the time. And every time Dora told Swiper no swiping, my daughter would say that line over and over again. Now, the unique story behind this is I was going to the mall one day. This is back in 2019. Now, I was just up there. I'm just browsing. I'm in Champs. This is South Lake Mall in Maryville for all my, Gary, EC, Hammond people. We know South Lake Mall like the back of our hand. Now, I'm in South Lake Mall and I'm in Champs. Now, I'm just browsing. Out the corner of my eye, in like the bottom row, I see these and I'm like, wait a minute, what are these? And this is before I even knew that he had did a collab, with the Air Max 1. So I'm like, what the heck are those? So I goes up to the shoe dude and I'm like, hey, what is these? He's like, oh, these the Air Max 1 swipers. Now, mind you, if you know Champs the way I do, I've never seen nothing that I would consider exclusive in that shoe store at all. You getting pretty much the basic regular sneaker that you see at any other Foot Locker, Champs, all those type of stores. So I'm just like, in my mind, I was like, okay, they must have slipped up, sent Champs an exclusive shoe, and Champs wasn't supposed to get it. But I ain't saying that out loud. I'm like, hey, you got these in 11 and a half? He like, yeah, bro, we got like all sizes. So in my mind, I was like, okay, this just shows me that either A, nobody ain't seen this shoe, or B, people not even peeping these when they come in here. Man, I told dude's like, yeah, I got him in 11 and a half. Man, listen, I ain't never reached in my pocket and in my wallet so fast to pay for these before. I was like, I don't even want them to be like, you know what? We don't got this size, or we ain't supposed to sell these because they got to go back. Like, I didn't even want like that type of problem when it came to these, bro. Like, I was like, yeah, let me get these. Bro, when I got home with these, I just was like, okay, I've hit a pot of gold in Champs that I've never seen before. And this is the crazy thing. If you go look these shoes up right now, they're going for like, I want to say 450 to 550. They like in that type of range. I got these joints for like 130, 135. You know what I'm saying? Like, to get a gym for regular retail and to see it boom, then you also got to think he's not with Nike no more. He's not with Sacramento Kings anymore. Like, that's going to also make the shoe go up. Because now it's like, oh, this is his last collab with Nike. Because we know now he's with Under Armour. So we're not going to see him do collabs with Nike ever again in my book. So to get this gem, I was just like, oh yeah, this was one of them ones, bro. Like to where he put that little safari print on the mud guard, bro. I thought that was cool. I don't want to call this suede. It's like I slightly do, but it's like I'll put it to you like this. It feels suede, but it almost feels like that rug that you know that just got all the little hairy feels to it. Like it's totally different than the suede on this. Like those are two totally different suedes. Like this is a great grade of suede. I'm not saying this one isn't, but it like I say, it almost feels like a rug. But I still thought it was dope. Then I thought it was dope that the two shoes are two different colors. I almost want to say this like that Knicks colors, blue and orange. Then it got that maroon, probably like that dark maroon red. And then it had that baby blue toe box. I was like, okay, he got busy with this. And like I say, they call him Swiper. I thought that was cool. And like I say, the cartoon is so symbolic to me to watch my daughter now. You gotta think my daughter's not 17, but to see her at this time frame when she was a kid and was watching this cartoon, I just was like, oh, I gotta get these shoes just based off me watching Dora the Explorer every day as when she was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what made this shoe and the story of how I got it so dope and symbolic. Like then from this the Nike sign, it's almost just like a plastic Nike sign. It's pink on this side. It's more like the clear one on this side. And it's the same on the other shoe. Clear Nike sign. Then it's the pink on here. Like I say, this is gonna be another, dope classic to me. Then for it to be an Air Max One, I think that's what really made me so excited when I got it. Cause I'm just like, okay, this is a Dora the Explorer theme. It's an Air Max One. It's a gem that's inside of Champs. Now, some of y'all tell me, have you ever caught a gem inside of Champs? Because I never would have thought I could have got a shoe like this in Champs. More than likely, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go downtown Chicago, maybe catch it at Nike Town, or I'm gonna have to get it off GOAT or something of that nature at the time frame. So to walk into a Champs and get something like this, I was just like, oh, this is God. This was all God's given. Because I'll tell you this, I'd have been back in Champs 1,000 times, and I never caught another gem. And now when I go into Champs, I still do it to this day. I really try to look around and be like, let me try to see if I can find a gem like this again. And I've yet to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what's gonna make this shoe probably the most unique sneaker in my Air Max One collection. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of Air Max Ones that I love, but this one just has the story to me that's just like it's unmatched. Like I just couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was great. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, this is one of them shoes I love. The details on it, like I say, is unmatched. From the safari to the I'ma just call this rough suede. You know what I'm saying? That rough suede to just even just something small like this, just the little cracks right here in the front of the toe box. You know what I'm saying? Like right up at the top. I thought that was like a unique hint. You know what I'm saying? It's always those little things that can make a shoe be more of a standout than other shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, you're gonna do a collab, make sure you go all out on just little things that other people may not. Like even if we just say like this, just to say like the little shoestring holder. I know it's plain, but let's just say you did a collab and you changed up that shoestring holder. That's the little things I look for in a sneaker that I'm like, okay, this separates you from being a good sneaker to a dope sneaker. You know what I'm saying? Even just this little part around here. This is something different that you don't get, like just the collar of it. Now, let's just take the collar of this. Now, yeah, this one is going to match what the shoe is. But for De'Aaron Fox to take it and say, oh, let's just put like, I almost want to call it like that little see through, piece of cloth through it. That to me made it something different than any other Air Max One that you may get. By far, this is probably the greatest Air Max 1 to ever hit Champs. Like, you can't get these at Champs at all. Never going to see these at Champs. The same way you can't get these at Champs. You would have never seen these at Champs. So in my mind, I'm looking at this shoe and I'm thinking the same way. It's no way in heck that I must see this type of shoe at Champs. But God had other plans. You know what I'm saying? Like, God was like, oh, you getting these. And he did. And I got them. And like I say, it's like I said, it's one of my favorite Air Maxes. Like I said, once again, shout out to my daughter. All them times of watching Dora the Explorer. This is one of the shoes that I'm gonna keep in my collection forever. Cause I want to be able to one day tell my kids as they get older, my grandkids, when they get older, hey, this is the shoe I caught at a Champs at a time where Champs just sold regular sneakers. And me and Yana used to watch Dora the Explorer every day. So this shoe is bona fide classic to me, man. Like I say, I love Air Maxes. I'm excited that it's, Air Max month. I'm definitely looking forward to all of the doper Air Maxes that's about to come out, man. More new Air Max 1s. Hopefully, like I say, we can start getting more 180s. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to see, this shoe come back out and have a better run. Like, the Air Max 180 should have, just as many sneakers as your Air Max 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't just be like, oh, the Air Max 1 or the 95 or the 97s got all of the hits. Like, now it's going to be hard for the Air Max 180 to catch up with what the Air Max 1 has done or what the Air Max 95 or even the 97s has done. But I definitely want to see this come back out, bro. But y'all let me know what shoes you rocking with for Air Max month. You know what I'm saying? We almost at the end. I'm happy Tinker did it. That's honestly another great thing I love, to say that Tinker has done two of my just all time favorite shoes, to say the Air Max 1 to the Air Jordan 5. Like, that's like symbolic to me, to say that guy created something that pretty much molded my childhood. That's why I love sneakers the way I do, because he brought something to my life that I was like, this is going to be in my life for the rest of my life. So happy Air Max 1 day, happy Air Max day, happy Air Max 95 day, happy Air Max 180, happy Air Max 97s. Whatever Air Max you love, I need you to rock them before the rest of this month is out. Rock them every day, even when we pass Air Max day or just Air Max month. Always rock your Air Maxes, bro. Like I say, one of the best made running shoes that we took and decided to not run in them, but style them. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all let me know. Leave it down in the comments. Like, what's your favorite Air Max? You know what I'm saying? Give me a story that may have happened to you. You may have had a story that was just like mine. You may have walked into a store, seen a dope pair of Air Maxes and copped them. You know what I'm saying? And then let me know which one is your favorite Air Max and why. You know what I'm saying? But, it's been another dope one, man. I hope y'all had a good one with me, man. Got to rock out and see the love I have for Air Maxes. Like I say, this one gonna always be king in my book. Like I say, y'all may have a different king. That's something I want to know. For everybody who wears the Air Max 1, tell me what's your favorite Air Max 1 and why. And then tell me if you truly honestly think it's better than these. We can have that battle. Anybody want to step up and have that battle or debate of what's the greatest Air Max 1? I'll put these on the line, bro. I think these can beat out a lot of Air Max 1s. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of super dope Air Maxes out there that I'm like, they are top tier. But just for me, like I say, this is my favorite. I'm not saying this is the greatest one ever made, but it's the greatest one ever made for me. You know what I'm saying? But hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Like I say, happy Air Max 1 day. Thanks for tuning in to the Sneaker Guy podcast. I'm your host, JT the Cool Soul, and I'm out.